is Henry Frederick of Headline Surfer. I'm here today with Billie Wheeler for the first of our 3 public candidate debates on this October 21st. We're, 18 days away from the general election.
Early voting starts Monday.
We're going to start off with District 2.
District 2.
Which is Greater Daytona Beach.
Greater Daytona Beach, Ponce Inlet, Wilbur by the Sea, Daytona Beach Shores, Daytona to Ormond on the beach side, going across the river, Daytona, South Daytona, and Port Orange to Dunlawton, then going west to Tomoka Farms Road.
And then after we're done with this first debate, of which there is only one, we'll get to that in a minute, then we'll have our second debate for County Council District 4, which will be Greater Ormond Beach, Holly Hill area, and that's Heather Post and Al Smith.
That's correct.
And then the final one will be the county chair, with the incumbent Jason Davis, and the challenger and the primary winner, Ed Kelly.
That's correct.
Well, let's get started. Your opponent obviously isn't here. I didn't think he would show since he never responded to, I don't know, I put out, almost an unlimited number of emails, calls to he and his lawyer, Peyton Quarles. Let's just get into that for a minute. Your opponent was accused of raping a woman earlier this year. It never went to court, the state attorney's office. It's not that they don't believe her, it's just they don't have enough evidence to bring it before a judge and a jury. How does that make you feel in this race?
Wow, this is a really, really tough topic.
I know you were a victim advocate at one point.
I was a victim advocate with the Port Orange Police Department for 3 years prior to getting into my city's politics. So I've been beside the women, the victims. I really have only read what everybody else is reading, and so I have to leave it to the citizens to decide how they feel about this. As a woman, it's a very difficult topic. I have a great deal of empathy for any victims. I can't confirm one way or another how this is.
Well, there's only been 2 stories.
Yes.
The one I wrote on September 29th, and then the one the News Journal wrote yesterday. Kind of it's a month and a half later.
Right.
And Kimmons is like, I'm not going to get into rude innuendo, but he's not answering any questions.
Right.
He's being very evasive. What does that speak to in terms of transparency and
Well, I'm all about transparency. And I've been hearing things all along through the campaign, and I've had to keep them to myself because I am trying to have a clean campaign, and I am out there for the people to get to know me. And I felt that the people would also get to know him also. I am very honorable. I go by all the rules for the campaign. I comply with every single thing that I'm supposed to do. I take it seriously. If I'm representing the people, I want them to trust me and believe me. So I think all the rules, no matter how minor they are, they're rules. They're rules to be had, and I want to conform with them. I feel like I am the representative that can, again, be honorable, and I don't have baggage. And anyone can look at my history and see that there's a clean slate. There's no back doors or any controversy. The public is going to have to decide this one.
Well, you and I talked almost a year ago when I first met you, and I told you I was pretty impressed with your I thought you had the acumen of all the candidates. You're just as competitive in terms of your knowledge and skill set. How much of a learning curve do you think there is to go from Daytona Beach Shores, which is a well-to-do, I know you have your financial restrictions and that, but to go from that to a county-wide setting where you're not just representing the district, but the county as a whole?
Well, it's definitely going to be a bigger challenge. There's no doubt about it. And there's going to be bigger hurdles. My main thing that I want to stay in the involvement with my communities all throughout the county. I'm very involved in my city, but because I was past president of the League of the Cities, I was also involved in all of the 16 cities in the county. So I've built those relationships, and I think so much of this is built on relationships and the people that you make contact with, the communications that you have, that open communication. I'm all about open communication. I'm just going to have to expand that even further. But I already feel like I have the communications with the cities and their staff, so that part won't be so hard. It's just going to be a bigger budget, bigger issues, and I'm learning. And I'm not going in with any preconceived ideas. And I'm out there listening to everyone and their objections or their problems and trying to form my own opinions. So I'm going to go in there with a new set of eyes, looking at everything.
All right, in the remaining moments we have left, let's just run the gauntlet and go through some topics.
Okay.
See how where you stand. Beach driving.
Okay, I feel that I would like to not see any more driving come off the beach. I think the area that they have selected, the downtown beach, I think that is probably the area that we need to address and try to develop that. We certainly aren't getting anywhere with the way things are right now. So we've got to try something, but I am absolutely firmly in belief that I don't want to see any more driving. There needs to be that, again, the cooperation and collaboration of both. And I think most of our issues that we're all going to be dealing with it's a give and take. You know, it can't just be exclusive in one way.
No.
We have to come together and communicate.
The county spent, my last estimates are somewhere between $20 and $30 million on off-beach parking sites, but it's probably going to take another $5 to $10 million to develop them. Mm-hmm. Would you like to see that done sooner or later, or are there other more important things that you see right now?
Well, I definitely think that we need to continue working on getting the off-beach driving. I know in my city, I don't think they're going to be purchasing any more property on the beach, which I'm very grateful for because we don't have many more places to grow.
No, it's pretty much landlocked.
And one of the big properties that they picked out was across from our Red Lobster, but that's prime territory. That took it off our tax rolls. So I would like to see it at least developed and get the people coming there, and that spot to go to the beach. And then maybe bring back some of the revenue when they come back, hitting our Starbucks or Red Lobster.
Let's talk about the homeless situation.
Okay.
There's been talk, I know there was the whole place where it's a shelter that was where a shuttered school was turned into a homeless facility. Not as a homeless shelter, but a facility to get families with children, unaccompanied teens, runaways and things like that reacclimated. And then you've got the homeless that are the chronically homeless, the drunks, the vagabonds, the ones who may fall asleep on the train tracks and get killed, or, there's talk about let's spend $4 or $5 million, put this big thing over by the jail. Well, let's put something in Daytona near the city, or maybe not build anything at all. Where do you see this thing going?
Well, when I was president of League of Cities was when I first started really hearing about the homeless situation and the thought of putting a safe harbor style. At that time we had the judge, Belle Schumann.
Right.
And we had her come and speak to all of the cities and everything, and I liked the concept. I went with elected officials over to Pinellas County and walked through the safe harbor. And I wasn't convinced that it was 100% going to be perfect, but it was at least a thought that we could move forward. I think there's been a lot of lack of communication and cooperation between the county and the cities in getting this done, and it's been kind of thrown into Daytona's lap. I don't see them allowing this to happen in their back door. That's what I keep hearing.
Well, I can tell you, in near decade that I was the cops and courts reporter at the News Journal, I dealt a lot with the homeless, almost on a daily basis. I saw a lot of them get killed, have real bad situations. Let me just get the point across to you. Even if you build something that has all the medical, all the counseling, if this is where they feel comfortable, how are you going to make them go there? You can't force them. It's not a prison. What if you build this thing and they just decide to stay? Then what?
Well, the way it was originally designed, that it was never meant to be a permanent housing. It's a step through, and it's a jail diversion also. We're spending a lot of money to house the ones that continue to go through the cycle. Our only hope is that the chronic ones would finally realize that there's another alternative between the jail, and possibly go through the process. I think the idea of having something out west of town is probably the best situation. I don't know that we need a $4 million building, but you know, my son is in the mission field, and I know that his son, when he was at mission, that they had huge tents that they lived in. I'm not saying like a little army tent. I'm saying air-conditioned, heated tent. What about if we put something like that out there to see how it works, to try it out rather than making the big investment? So take it in steps and then fine-tune it. But the process and the idea in my mind is that there's one centralized location, and that the people can go in there and we can filter them out to the different agencies where they need to be taken care of. And by the stage 4, or however they want to develop it, there's a possibility that those people can be productive citizens. When I saw it in Pinellas, by the time they got to stage 4, there were some of them going back to college. So what if we have some of our contractors and our builders and what all saying, hey, we need carpenters and whatever.
All right, we got a minute left.
Yes.
Let's get right to what you believe would be your number one priority if elected. What would be the overriding issue, but anything else, for Billie Egger Wheeler going in January?
Well, it's difficult because if you look at it as an entire county, I think infrastructure is a huge thing. We're worrying about our water. Definitely our water is a big issue with mosquito lagoon. But in my district, I think homeless
Well,
is
let
the
me
number
ask
one.
you this. We clearly are still in the bottom 2 or 3 counties among the 67 in terms of we're among the second or third highest in taxes charged, and we're among the 2 or 3 lowest in the return on those taxes.
Right.
So what would be the big, how would you, I mean, unless you get a handle on that.
And I agree with you, you know, but there again, you know, homeless is part of it too. You know, it is affecting our revenue source in downtown Daytona and areas. It's keeping people away from Beach Street and those areas that need to be developed. But there again, the infrastructure is a huge thing in order for us to bring in new businesses. And that's important for the higher wages, which we desperately need.
Well, for Billie Egger Wheeler, I would just add that I believe that violent crime in Daytona Beach is the one that's really deteriorating the city more than anything. And it's gotten worse.
Yes, it has.
You know, but you've got some excellent points, and it's unfortunate that your opponent isn't decided not to come here. And, you know, speaking of violent crime, the allegation of rape hangs over this election, but we'll have more on that coming. So for Billie Egger Wheeler of District 2, and you will be succeeding Joshua Wagner, who's term limited it up, and looking forward, I think, to returning to his wife and his 2 little boys.
Yes, I'm sure.
Well, this is Henry Frederick, and we'll be back in a minute with our second debate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.